An intoxicating day, I would think, for Justin Verlander. Buster Olney breaking the news that Justin Verlander has signed a 7-year contract for $180 million with a vesting option for the 8th year that could take it to $202 million total. I mean, one of the, if not the best pitcher in baseball in the last 8 or 10 years, is now one of the wealthiest players in baseball that we've ever seen. Your thoughts on the deal?
Well, they've constructed a roster that should go to the playoffs a lot. And once you get to the playoffs, Justin Verlander gives you a shot to win every playoff game that he pitches. So I really think, it's deserving. He's 30 years old, 124 victories, only 65 losses. He's absolutely the most amazing pitcher on this earth.
And I think it's a great sign to the other Tiger players who are coming up, knowing that if you get a guy, a good player, he's a great player like Verlander, you're going to get to keep him. And I think it sets a tone for the kids in the minor leagues now. It's saying, okay, now we have some pride in our organization. They're keeping our guys.
I didn't want talks to drag really anywhere close to the start of the season. This thing was pretty much wrapped up right after my last start, which is what I wanted. I didn't want anything to be weighing on my mind going into the season. This last week, my preparation and everything, I didn't want anything to take away from that. So, obviously, and I told you guys the last start of my spring was pretty much the deadline for me as to when I wanted to continue to talk about it. I have a chance to get to the $200 million contract. I just got to earn it, and I have no problem with that. I think the opportunity to stay in Detroit and earn $200 million is great. Obviously, it'd be nice if it was guaranteed, but like I said, I got to go out there and earn it on the baseball field, and that's how I got this current contract, and that's how I plan to continue the rest of my career.
It's Saturday, March 30th, 2013. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report. Exhibition of elite talent in sports comes at a competitive price. And on Friday, the Detroit Tigers got that very lesson in economics when they signed their ace, Justin Verlander, the perennial consensus best pitcher in baseball, to a record-setting deal, making him the highest-paid pitcher in baseball by offering him a 5-year extension with $180 million, with a vesting option for an 8th year, which could bring the maximum value of the extension to $202 million, making Verlander a Tiger for life. Back in February, King Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners signed a 7-year deal with $175 million, making him at the time the highest paid pitcher in baseball. However, with Verlander's new deal and $28 million per year average, he surpasses that mark by $5 million. Verlander is now 30 and would have been eligible to become a free agent following the conclusion of the 2014 season. The Tigers ace said last week that he wanted negotiations wrapped up on any possible extension by the conclusion of his final spring training start, as to ensure that he could provide maximum focus and energy to the Tigers' 2013 World Series title run. The right-hander was scheduled to make $20 million over each of the final 2 years of his original contract. The new agreement calls for those salaries to remain in place and adds an additional $140 million in guaranteed money starting in 2015 and running through the 2019 season. There is also a $22 million option for 2020 if Verlander finishes within the top 5 of Cy Young voting. Over the last 4 seasons, Verlander has been one of the most dominant performers and pitchers in all of baseball, leading the league in both innings pitched and strikeouts 3 times, wins twice, and ERA once. Verlander made history in 2011 with a record of 24-5, 250 strikeouts, and an ERA of 2.40, becoming the first starting pitcher to claim both the Cy Young and MVP honors since Roger Clemens accomplished the feat in 1986. Last season, Verlander posted a record of 17-8 with an ERA which stood at 2.64. He finished second in Cy Young voting behind David Price of the Tampa Bay Rays. With Verlander as their ace, Detroit reached the World Series for the second time last season since 2006. The Rookie of the Year in 2006 and a 5-time All-Star, Verlander has a 124-65 career record with a career ERA which stands at 3.40. During his 8-year stint with the Tigers in the majors, he also has collected 2 no-hitters during his time as the ace of the staff in the Motor City. Verlander's extension was the top topic of conversation on Friday's edition of Valente and Foster, as Mike Valente and Terry Foster provide some local perspective on the Tigers making significant history.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He waved at the off-speed pitch away. A strikeout to start the 9th, the 11th for Justin.
Well, he is unique and very talented, and we all know there's a gamble anytime a pitcher goes out there. Every pitcher is high risk, but you're also in a position where when you look at his ability, you look at his work ethic, which is phenomenal, his determination to be successful and be a champion.
Oh, yeah. 97.1 The Ticket, Valente and Foster on the airwaves on a Friday, taking you to 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
It's been a lively pre-show here. Terrence.
Yes, sir.
Straight off the plane, dropping that flame. You're ready to roll today.
I am ready. I'm excited.
There's an inner tiger in you that's ready to come out.
I want it to be a great Friday, not Good Friday, my friend.
Hey, by the way, I just answered your tweet about are you going to be a state of Michigan man? Go to hell. Rock chalk. Let's get to business
I know your
today.
answer.
Oh, that passive-aggressive nonsense. We're rooting against each other tonight. Let's call it what it is.
Mike, I know you don't like this, but I do remain a state of Michigan man. I hope the Wolverines and Spartans advance to the Elite Eight so we can have some fun for the weekend, my friend. I'm sorry. But I understand where you are.
We need to dive right in. We will get to college basketball a little bit later in the program. Justin Verlander, I'm going to tell you, if you need to negotiate a contract, get Team Verlander on your side. Oh, man. You want to know how this went down? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they scared that ownership group. Woo! Well, I don't want to talk about it all this year. I'm going to do what's best for me. Kind of alluding to, I want to get that free agency. Let's see what it's about. Woo! Oh, Mr. I backed up that pizza truck and just pulled out straight 100s. Oh, extension in total could be worth $202 million. Wow. $180 million extension. He gets $5 million more over the course than Felix Hernandez. I can't promise you he'll stay healthy. Nobody can. But as we sit here, right now, Justin Verlander's new contract is a steal. It's a steal. And you know why? It's because you got it done now, Terry. Yes, if you waited until the offseason next year and he pitched well, you'd be spending another 12 to 15, maybe more. This is a steal because he's better than Felix Hernandez. And guess what? Felix Hernandez, whose velocity's been going down for 3 straight years, yeah, that's not happening with Justin Verlander. They aren't $5 million apart in total. They're $5 million apart per year. This is a steal for your Detroit Tigers. It's a fantastic job by Dombrowski and company of getting it done. It's also a fantastic job of Verlander playing the scare tactic. Look, he's going to finish his career as a Detroit Tiger. There's really nothing else you could ask for. I think it's a fantastic deal. I don't think there's any reason to oppose it. I know some people are on Twitter. You're welcome to it at Mike Valeni 971, Terry Foster 971. I'll throw the number out, 248-539-9797. I think it's a 10 out of 10 as far as an extension goes on cost, on timeliness of getting it done, and on the player you got it done with. I have nothing negative to say about it. So here's Terry for the poopy parade.
No, there's no poopy parade. We talked about this. I was willing to go, what we talked about, 7 years, $210 million. I was willing to go that far. And essentially, it is a 7-year contract, but it starts with this season. So you have 7 years total. There's really, in my mind, nothing to poopy pants about on this. He's the best pitcher in the game. And I've already received one tweet, Mike, and you can respond to it if you want. But, somebody's looking down the road. Why would you give this money to anybody? Nobody is worth this money. Yes, they are. You're trying to win a World Series. Here's a guy that can win a couple more Cy Youngs. He's in the prime of his career. And here's the other thing. When Verlander's fastball is around 92 or 93, I think he's got a surprise for the league that's going to extend his career. The one thing that goes overlooked and nobody talks about because he can reach triple figures is his off-speed stuff, his curveball, and some of the other things. I'm not saying he's going to go totally Frank Tanana, but I think once that arm starts to dial down a little bit, Justin Verlander is going to figure out a way to win 16, 17 games. So we've talked about this way back in the past. Some people were saying, no, you don't pay that to anybody. I'd love to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Here's the other thing that he said. Justin Verlander, I'll bring a World Series to Detroit. I believe that. And that's what this is all about. This is what has to happen. There has to be a World Series connected with the greatness of Justin Verlander for this all to be okay. I think this is mission accomplished. I think they'll win a World Series with him, and he will be a guy that's going to finally shut people up who says, yeah, boy, he's a great pitcher, but look at him in the World Series. By the way, folks, he's only had 2 starts. He's appeared in 3 games.
It would have helped if he didn't get broomed out of the World Series, maybe get him a second start.
Understood. But, Mike, we had talked to people who said that they would not extend him based on those 2 games. And, by the way, he's pitching like 200 and something games. But does anyone have anything bad to say about this? 248-539-9797. And will Justin Verlander deliver on his promise to bring a World Series to Detroit?
Now, again, we're a very reactionary town. People want to react to things. You just locked up. Think about this. All the times, and hey, you want to come at me on a day like today, do it. Because I try to be a realist. You can't get him, or he doesn't want to come here. Why would he do it? I'll say the same thing to you later with Dwight Freeney. Why would he come here?
Right.
You've managed to lock up a guy that every single other team that had the financial capabilities to make an offer would offer if he ever hit the open market. Everybody in baseball wants this player every single day. There's not a single GM in baseball who would have a negative thing to say. There's no arm trouble. There's no locker room trouble. He's an unbelievable competitor. Great resume. Everybody on the planet wants Verlander. There's only a couple other players in baseball that everybody would want. That list probably begins and ends with Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. Maybe Miguel Cabrera, even though he's going to start getting up there, and Verlander. You've managed to get two of them and now lock up one of them for the rest of his functioning life. I think it's a huge day for Detroit. And as much as this damn format focuses on negativity, I think it's okay today to just be positive. I think it's all right to just call up, dance around, and have a sword fight with Terry. That's okay. This is one of the more momentous days outside of winning a title that you'll ever have as a Detroit sports fan. You've managed to take a guy who everyone outside of Detroit would perceive to want to hit free agency and go somewhere else, and you kept him here. And you did it early, you did it with no drama, and you did it at what I think is an incredibly fair market value, a fair price. I think in the end you save about $2 to $3 million a season on this contract. I openly said to you I would have gone 7 for $210 if I had to. You got 7 at $180. Or it could be an upwards of $202 on 8. Guess what? This is an unbelievable deal. I think it's okay to just be happy. If you oppose it, if you have a problem with it, love to hear it. Not going to shut you down, but you got to have reasons. Verlander is just entering his prime. I think he'll get at least in this contract 4 to 5 prime, premium, Cy Young quality years. Consider the last 2 years on the deal gratuity. And if he brings you a World Series and you actually win it, it's worth every penny. You haven't won since 1984. It's time. There are how many teams in this league, Terrence and Matt? I'll take care of the business 1 second. People, I want you to think about this. How many teams in this league don't even have the capability of signing this deal, much less the ability to make a guy want to stay? How many teams could do it? Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers.
I was going to say 20 to 22 could not.
Right. You've got a select group of 8 to 10 that could do it. Mm-hmm. And with what's looming for the Tigers down the line with a possible, again, your owner's 83. We're just talking realistically.
Right.
Whether it's an ownership change, a sale, a new mindset, you got it done while he's here, and you got it done in print. And guess what? The ink's dried. He's yours. I think it's a fantastic day for you guys.
Tigers owner Mike Ilitch hasn't been afraid to put his money where his mouth is in order to make the Tigers a consistent and viable contender year in and year out. There's no doubt that he's poured his heart and soul into making the Tigers his own personal pet project of success, throwing records amount of money at the franchise in hopes of securing the one thing that has eluded him during his professional ownership days in professional sports. And that, of course, is a World Series championship victory. And on Friday, he took a significant step forward to ensuring that he'll be able to compete with the heavyweights for years to come by locking Justin Verlander up as a Tiger for life. There's no doubt that Verlander himself loves playing for the Tigers and the Old English team. The fan support and the respect he's earned as a member of the organization couldn't be surpassed in his mind. And with him now in the fold for many more years to come, he'll have the opportunity to finish what he started and be a part of what will hopefully be a successful run during the tenure of this contract. The Tigers are a built-to-win-now team, and they have to do whatever it takes to put all their chips at the center of the table to ensure that they get the mission done of securing their first World Series championship since 1984. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tigers should once again, indeed, win the American League Central Division. While the division has improved, the Tigers are clearly still the head of the class in this division. And while winning the division is certainly important and a stated goal by the team, there's no denying the evidence that this team will be judged on exactly what they do during their next postseason run. The Tigers are now, and have been 3 to 4 years, one of the biggest spenders in baseball, with Prince fielder Justin Verlander and Miguel Cabrera all on the payroll for over $20 million a year. The Tigers have certainly invested a lot into securing their most elusive prize. And now, what's left for Verlander and his teammates is to go out and prove it on the field. But this is a move that the Tigers had to make. They were going to lose Verlander if he eventually hit the free agent market. This, my friends, a prudent move on the heels of both image and general manager Dave Dombrowski. Justin Verlander is the face of the Tigers franchise. He's the ambassador for the team, the city, and its fans. From a national perspective, Verlander gives Detroit, its sports town, and its people a sense of respectability and viability around the world. And now, Tigers fans, alumnus, and players alike will now be able to have the distinction of calling Verlander a Tiger for life. Something I'm sure he is proud to be. And now he has to earn his keep on the field. But if past performance is any indication of future returns, the Tigers, Verlander, and the rest of the interested parties involved should be comfortable taking this leap of faith because they know they have a proven commodity. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat, report.